Ebubedike, Ebubedike, Okonkwo, Agụ, Mmejigbu Agụ, Agụ na-eche mba. Ebubedike, Okonkwo, Agụ, Ọbata Obie, Agụ na-eche mba. Nwoke ọma, Ebubedike, Okonkwo, Agụ.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. I want to point out a couple things. First of all, Biafra is, of course, a charter member of the Organization of Emerging African States and was, as usual, leading the way for liberation from neocolonialism in Africa by coming together with the two other charter members, Southern Cameroons and Cabinda, to form that organization, which has now grown much larger. Dr. Akwanga, the Secretary General, Ebenezer Akwanga, who could not be here today, he's up in northern Ghana. He sends his regards to you, Prime Minister, in consultations with him. It was a revelation to the Organization of Emerging African States that, again, Biafra chose the initiative to hold a self-referendum because, of course, in the past, we always asked Nigeria to hold the referendum. And of course, that's a mistake. 3 times Nigeria has been asked, even more times by others. And now the technology and initiative exists, so we have the ability to hold a referendum that, in my opinion, and in the opinion of the Organization of Emerging African States, will meet all international law standards. Because, of course, we're using digital and local methods. The referendum can be verified and will be the will of the people. And Biafra, again, leads the way in Africa with this. So under international law, referendum is by and large, of course, is the preferred method to achieve independence, because then there's no question about what the people want. Once this referendum is finished and the results announced, they will be binding under international law. Biafra, if it's the will of the people, if the republic is to be restored, then that is what will happen. The Organization of Emerging African States will be one of the first to congratulate and certify the results of that referendum. And as I believe other international organizations must do so also. For example, several years ago, an inquiry was made to the European Union by the OAS on behalf of Biafra, what their opinion was about the situation and holding a referendum. The external service of the European Union said, of course, we support all ways of achieving self-determination recognized by international law. And of course, the premier way to do this is the referendum. So again, there's no question. I think if you ask anybody, a well-coordinated referendum meets all requirements under international law.
My people, my Biafran people, now how on a day I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending from where you're listening to the sound of my voice. This one, na Biafra Superstars Media, and I'm holding it down. I say, may God bless Biafra, and may God bless His Excellency Oyendo Mazinam Kano. May God bless His Excellency, the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile, His Excellency ESN Ekpa Simon Njoku, for the job Simon is doing. Simon, I want to say we thank you. We appreciate you. We love you, because we know in your hands Biafra is coming. In your hands Biafra is safe. And in your hands, when Biafra comes, the people of Biafra will rejoice. My fellow Biafrans, what you've just heard today, oh my God, have mercy, is a statement from the man they call Dr. Levi, who is one of the pioneers, one of the heads of the Organization of the African Emerging States, the Organization of the Emerging States from Africa. He has said it pump and plain in black and white, that as soon as the referendum of Biafra is completed, their organization will be one of those to recognize what we have gone through, the process we used to do the referendum. So this is one thing we want you all to understand. Those who say what we are doing is rubbish, those who say we are doing referendum from exile, those who assume that before you ask for your freedom, you must be in Nigeria and be shouting like the late great Chief Abiola. No, there is a different school of thought. We have learned from the mistake of men like Chief Abiola. We have learned from the mistake from even a man like Ghandi. We have learned from the mistake from those who thought facing their enemy on the same ground where there is no rule of law was the best way to go. You saw what happened to the great Abiola, a man who was already a multi-billionaire, a man who was a philanthropist around the whole world, a man who was even respected in Britain, a man who has a newsletter known as, I believe it is Concord newspaper or so, and during those days his news gets to England, gets to Britain. The Queen was always served a copy of the Concord newspaper. Unfortunately for that man, what happened was he was cajoled by those who told him, if you want to fight for your mandate, you must stay in Nigeria. If you want to fight for your mandate, you must meet face to face with Babangida. You must meet face to face with Abacha and tell them to their face that you are the winner of the June 12 election. And you also what happened, even though what Chief Abiola did was respected, even though what Chief Abiola did would have been, been the right thing to do, being that he's a multi-billionaire and somebody respected around the whole world. When we were doing our history on Chief Abiola, we were told that he was the one that funded the campaign posters of Bill Clinton. That's how far, how vast he went. But for those who are blaming Cybernetica for doing what we are doing from diaspora, the same Abiola, he took the advice from Nadeko. Nadeko told him to remain in Nigeria and fight for his mandate. But today, till I speak, in the year 2024, the members of Nadeko, they are still based abroad. Think about it. Those that told him to fight for his mandate in Nigeria, they are living hale and hearty abroad. They still claim they are on asylum in America. Some of them, they got their first asylum in Europe, but they went to America and said, no, they preferred America. They preferred America. But look at the head of one of the Nadeko men. Tinubu is a president in Nigeria. He ran during the days of Abacha. Tinubu ran away during the days of Abacha. But they forced Abiola to remain in Nigeria. And when you look at what is happening now, Chief Kashimawo Olawale Abiola, MKO, Money Kudi, my God, Owo, that was his name, MKO. He's a dead man because he took the advice of those he believed were working with him to gain or to regain his mandate. He stayed in Nigeria, he fought in Nigeria, and we saw what happened to him at the end. So we have learned from these people. We have seen what they did. We have seen their actions, their inactions, the things they did, the things they failed to do. We have weighed their pros and cons. And our Prime Minister, in his infinite wisdom, he said, no, I have studied all these men that chose to remain, and we saw what they did to them. So no, we will have our own approach, an organic approach, a Biafran approach, and we shall go all out to get our referendum from diaspora. Not only that, we shall form a government in diaspora, because in diaspora, when you are in the Western world, they respect the rule of law. When you are in the Western world, everybody is equal under the law. But if you think you can go and fight for your mandate in Nigeria, before you wake up in the night, there will be a bomb blast in your house. Before you wake up in the night, the police, the army, they are there. They are buying the men. You saw what they did to even a man on bail. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, he was on bail. And Buhari still sent men. He still sent his Fulani soldiers to the home of Mazenam, they cannot to buy him. That's to let you know, say, when you are doing your own thing, my people, you must learn from the pros and cons of different school of thoughts. Once you have learned, you have to now come together and come up with an organic. If you are in IT, they call it a bespoke. Bespoke means something unique, something peculiar. You have drawn from the strengths of all the different school of thoughts. You have seen and observed, analyzed the different ways of doing things, and you have chosen to come with your own way. After all said and done. So from today, you have seen the fruits of the labor of our Prime Minister and his cabinet, of course. That the way the referendum is going, so far we have at least 40 million votes and counting. Think about that. 40 million Biafrans, they have voted so far and the vote is still counting. And suddenly, the man they call Dr. Levi, that you are seeing on the screen, he is telling us live. It is on video. It is on record. He is saying that his organization, which he is a member of, and all different organizations, they will support what we are doing. Think about that, my people. Think about that. It means as soon as this result of our referendum is out, and we call the results, the whole world, they will appreciate it. They will appreciate it. That is Simon Ekpa for you. That is the thinking of a man with wisdom, a man with high sense and foresight. We have seen the way others did it. That's not the way to go. Because today, Chief MK Abiola is in the grave, while those who claim they were fighting shoulder to shoulder with him, they are the ones now enjoying the corridors of power. They are in the corridors of power. They are in power. They are enjoying. And the children of Chief MK Abiola, they are languishing. So this one will be a comparison of Simon Ekpa and Chief MK Abiola. A comparison of the approach taken by His Excellency Obatobie Agone Chamber, one comma, a good man. When it comes to freedom, the comparison between Mazi Ekpa Simon Njoko and Chief Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola. I'm saying this because some of you don't understand. Somebody like me, I almost had a bullet about Chief MK Abiola. I almost took a bullet for that man. You guys will not understand what I'm talking about. Today is not the day to discuss it. But after all said and done, I have taken my time to analyze what our Prime Minister has done so far. I have taken my time to look at Chief MK Abiola. And in my ultimate analysis, I have gained so much experience. I have also looked at Ghandi. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes you don't only look about the politics from your locale. You look at the outcome of the other school of thoughts. Those that say Ghandi was peaceful. Today, I want to tell you that Ghandi was a coward. You might be angry with me saying this because you don't understand. You see, Ghandi came from the India-Pakistan area. We do things different. With the Biafrans, we are different. We are not the type that will say we are fighting for freedom and then we turn the left cheek when they slap the right cheek. That's not who we are. That's the approach that Ghandi took. Ghandi was telling their people to be disobedient, but peacefully, but respectfully. And Britain was beating them black and blue. When you refused to go to work, the British government during those days in Beirut, India, what they would do to them then is they will spit at them. When they are queuing up, they use their, water hose and poured at them. They will beat them and whip them. Ghandi said nobody should flinch. Even when they beat you and you are bleeding, Don't touch the blood. Just keep on walking and protesting. That's a very good example of slave obey your master, because you are trying to draw the empathy from your master. That's the biggest mistake of the Ghandi school of thought. In the case of Nigeria, if you try that nonsense in Nigeria, you will not get punched in your face. You will not get slapped in your face. You will not get water hosed on you. What you will get is the bullets, that ball-headed bullet coming out from the AK-47 of the Fulani killer headsmen dressed in Nigerian military uniform. I have studied it, because when you saw the Biafrans at first, we were being peaceful in our marching. At first, all we did was a march with the flag of Biafra, and the Nigerian military, they came and they buyed us. They were shooting us guns that we raised up the flag of Biafra. Think about that. The next one, we went for prayers, to pray to our God, to our Chukwu. They came in the prayer square. There was a stampede. People were running. Despite the stampede, they were still buying us. So that approach will not work in Nigeria. The approach of Ghandi, saying just go out there and stand, carry a flag and stand. The Nigerian military will buy you. You saw what they did in Lekki during the NSAS. That was when I knew we were dealing with a mad military. We were dealing with a mad government. We are dealing with people that don't have the conscience of human feelings. We are dealing with people who are archaic, people who are backwards, and those are definitely Fulani killer headsmen dressed in Nigerian military uniform. Because the mantra during those days was, if you are doing a protest, when the military are coming, carry your flag up. Wave the flag, wave the Nigerian flag very high. When the military come, they will see the flag, they will salute you, esprit de corps, they will give you water, they will give you succor, they will protect you guys. So on that fateful day, those children, those youths, they were doing their protest, they were gyrating and singing at Lekki. And suddenly, the military were coming. The governor and somebody bigger than the governor sent those military. And when they got there, the people were raising their flags. They were shouting, up Nigerian soldiers, up soldiers, up Nigerian soldiers, up the soldiers. They say, raise the flag higher, raise the flag higher. The more they rose the flag, the more they chopped the bullets. The more they rose the flag, the more they got the bullets. So many of them were buyed. So many of them were riddled with bullets. But at the end, what did the Nigerians say? They took all the bodies. They took away the cameras. Think about how devilish is that. Even CCTV cameras, before they did what they did, they took them down. Evidence. They took down the evidence. And when they came to buy them, there was no one to show the facts of what happened. Even those with their cell phone that tried their best, they were running and shooting the videos, capturing what happened. At the end, Nigeria said it's a lie, that it's a fake, it was concocted, that the videos were fake. That alone will let you know that going through the Ghandi school of thought, it will not work in Nigeria. If Simon Ekpa was to lead a protest, that he is at the front of the protest, we are marching down to Okpara Square in Enugu. We are marching down saying, all we want is freedom. All we want is our liberation. I swear to God and man, the Zoo military, they will thank God. They will come with their AK-47. They will buy everybody and nothing will happen, because your Nigerian military, they work hand in hand with the media. Your Nigerian media, they work hand in hand with the Zoo government. So even though men will be quiet on that day, nobody will report it. They will say nothing happened. They will say it was a stampede. They will say it was a riot between a faction group. Some court boys came and they quiet us. So the Ghandi school of thought will not work. Those who think, oh, we are peaceful, we'll do it peacefully. I am sorry, anything called the Ghandi school of thought, doing things peacefully will not work. Even the thought of Malcolm X, where he said, "Oh, love your neighbors, we are one. I have a dream, I have a dream." At the end, the dream of Martin Luther King turned into a nightmare. The dream of Martin Luther King turned into a nightmare. I did my research. The last letter or the last speech of Malcolm X, he had to be killed after he made that last speech. In that speech, he said he's worried. A man who had a dream saying, "Oh, black and white holding their hands together, the kids playing together as one." Towards his last speech, he said he is worried that he's integrated his people into a burning house. When the FBI heard that, when the CIA knew where he was going with that, they said, "No, this guy is going against the script. It is time to buy him. This man is going against the script. It is time to kill him." Because when they saw that his eyes don't open, from "I have a dream that one day they were hosting you down. I have a dream they came with the police baton to beat you guys. I have a dream that one day." You see, to an extent, Martin Luther King followed the school of thought of Ghandi. Even that Ghandi is even a racist to the black people, but I won't go there. Ghandi, you are saying that you are telling us to copy. He was a racist to the black people. He believed in class and caste in India and the rest of them. I won't go there today. So Martin Luther King, who had a dream, at the end, his dream turned into a nightmare. Even the man close to him, Reverend Jesse Jackson, when Martin Luther King was shot, Jackson chose to point upstairs and say the shooter shot from top of the roof. He was betrayed by his own people. So we have studied all these different schools of thoughts. We have looked at Chief M.K. Abiola, a man we all loved, a man that got the mandate of the people of that country called Nigeria during those days. The man that till this day they said his election was free and fair. They claimed this election was free and fair. But till this day, my people, till this day, those that stood by the side of M.K. Abiola, they are the ones enjoying now. While Chief M.K. Abiola, his wife, Kudirat, they are in the grave. And the children of Chief M.K. Abiola, they are wallowing in poverty. But a man like Tinubu, who claimed he was one of the pioneers of Nadeko, he ran away when the thing got hot. He stayed away until Abacha died. Then he came back. If Abiola has done the right thing by going back to England and spoke from England, I believe people like Bill Clinton would have stepped in. England, they loved him. They would have stepped in. But those around him, they tricked him. They made him to become the sacrificial lamb. And today, the president of that zoo called Nigeria is one of those who is now benefiting from the trials and ordeals, the sad ending of Chief M.K. Abiola. And not only that, on the day of June 12th, on the day of Democracy Day in that zoo called Nigeria, we were surprised when the biggest statue in Africa, the biggest portrait in Africa, we were assuming when he unveiled it, it will show the face of Chief M.K. Abiola. To put salt into injury, we saw a very big portrait of Jagaban on the day of June 12th. You guys might not understand the meaning of that portrait. It's to let you know that he was the brain behind it all. You see, M.K. Abiola died in vain. I'm sorry. Because if your so-called comrade, a comrade, somebody who was with Nadeko on the day of Democracy Day that was assigned to Chief MQ Abiola. June 12th is known as MQ Abiola's Day. But if on that day, the man who claimed to fight side by side with Chief MQ Abiola, a man who claimed they came to burn his house, and he would have taken a bullet for Chief MQ Abiola. If on the day of Chief MQ Abiola, that man refused to put him at the pedestal, but instead put him his own self, that tells you that man was the spy. That man was the eye behind what happened to MK Abiola. The same way in the story of Martin Luther King, while he was at the balcony, he was at the balcony of hotel with Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson knew the shooter was somewhere. It was believed that Jesse Jackson was working with the FBI at that time. And when they read the script of the speech that Martin Luther King was about to make across the whole America by saying, it is time to stop this integration because I am integrating my people into a burning house. Martin Luther King met with the great Malcolm X from the nations of Islam. And when they sparred intellectually, he told him, how do you want to integrate our people into a burning house? And that changed the mind of Martin Luther King from saying, I have a dream that one day we all stay together as one. That changed his mind to start saying, I am worried that I am integrating my people into a burning house. Because of that, the CIA and the FBI, they had Jesse Jackson lure Martin Luther King to the balcony. And while he was at the balcony, they had a clear shot at him. They shot him. He didn't die. But as people were trying to get or catch the one that shot the bullets, Jesse Jackson now pointed upstairs, saying the bullet came from the top. That way he was able to, distract people from catching the killer. And we were told that when Martin Luther King got to the hospital, they saw he wasn't going to die from that bullet. They decided to speak to those nurses to take him out. So the same way MK Abiola was sacrificed, Martin Luther King was also sacrificed. So to bring everything home, those laughing at Simon Ekpa, telling him to come to Nigeria, those saying that we are cowards for staying abroad, that when you want your freedom, you come to Nigeria and fight for your freedom, it's because they've not done their research, or they know what will happen if we are that stupid to go to Nigeria and say we're fighting for our freedom there. They know what the Nigerian government and military are capable of doing. And that's what they wish on us. They want us to buy, but they are pretending by saying, if you want freedom, come to Nigeria and get it. They are saying that because they know that their Nigeria government and military don't follow the rule of law. So they want us, Lord have mercy, they want us to make the mistake of Chief MK Abiola. They want us to make the mistake of Martin Luther King. They want us to even make the mistake of Mandela. One day I will break down the story of Mandela. Mandela was a broken man. He went to prison as a freedom fighter and came out as a puppet. He went to prison as a freedom fighter and came out as the puppet. You guys will not understand that. The Mandela that went to prison is different from the Mandela that came out and they made him president. He was broken down psychologically. His state of mind was destroyed. The man in him was replaced. His mind was replaced. He became a lover of flowers in prison. Mandela became love flower. He say, I love the flowers. I love the way they grow in prison. Please, can I be planting flowers? Every morning he was planting flowers and watering them. He became a botanist technically in prison. He was appreciating the beauty of flowers while in prison. That was when they said, yes, we have gotten him. We have gotten this man. Not only that, he volunteered to be taking care of all the flowers in prison. Mandela that you all love now. They made sure he was brainwashed. I won't blame him though. 28 years or so in jail. But that's what they did to him. So Africa is not fair. Nigeria is not fair when it comes to rule of law. The only way that you can get your freedom in Nigeria today, in 2024, the only way you can get your freedom is to do what our Prime Minister is doing. You stay in a country where they respect, obey, and observe the rule of law. And after that, the rest is history. Because Nigeria cannot reach you. And from there, you will start carrying out the things you have to do that will hold the UN and other organizations to account. You follow the policies. Do what you have to do. Do your referendum. Conduct it. Let the whole world see the results. They will approve it. And then Nigeria cannot say anything because Nigeria, in the public, in the eyes of the nation, they pretend like they are good. It's only when you are in Nigeria, they show you're an animal. They call you a bloody civilian. But when they come to the IOC, to the UN, they pretend that they observe and they uphold the rule of law. So when you operate from diaspora, when you operate from Finland, when you operate from a country outside of even Africa, then Nigeria will be held to account. So come what may, from the 2nd of December, after we will do our self-referendum, we shall declare the results for the whole world to see. And as this great man has said, Dr. Levy, member of the Organization of the Emerging African Countries, they will recognize it. They will be the first. They will be among the first. It means there will be so many to recognize it. They recognize the outcome of the results. And once that is done, Nigeria will have nothing else, no other option than to accept the will of the people. Because now they will know this thing called Biafra is not about Nnamdi Kanu, one man, or Simon Ekpa. No, it is the people. It is the Biafrans. It is over 40 million Biafrans so far that have voted, that want freedom, that want change. That's the difference. So we shall get this Biafra from diaspora. When Simon Ekpa was saying it, you were all laughing at him. You called him a small boy. You say he's a liar. But today, Dr. Levi is telling you all. Dr. Jonathan Levi is telling you all that the Biafra referendum will be observed, accepted, when the result is out. At that stage, once that approval, acceptance is done, then I will now say, or die and I die. People will now be ready. We, the Biafrans, will now be ready to go all out to fight for my Biafra and regain our mandate, regain our freedom. Because the world will now approve it. They have seen it. They have seen the methodology. They liked what we did. They've given their consent. They've given their assent, which means they've signed into it. Then Nigeria cannot stop us. Once we go to defend our land, if Nigeria come to buy us to the world, Nigeria is the aggressor. I hope now you get it. But if we had been stupid and we went to Nigeria, all they would do is bribe some people around us. They catch us, they buy us. That's the end of Biafra. The same way they assumed that kidnapping Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya means Biafra is dead. They were so happy. Even the man they call Malami, he made a speech in his language, in Hausa and Fulani, gloating, talking how big, he was so proud, how the Buhari government was able to kidnap Nnamdi Kanu. Think about that. That's to show you that anybody telling us to fight from Nigeria is a criminal, is a liar, and they don't want us to succeed. We have learned from Chief MK Abiola his actions and inactions, the things he did and the things he failed to do. We have learned from Ghandi, a coward who was being slapped left and right, black and blue, and he still stood firm. That way will not work in Nigeria, because if you try it, they will buy you with the bullets. They will not slap you. They will buy you with the bullets. We have also studied the man they call Martin Luther King, who was talking about his own freedom was what? He had a dream of integration. Today, we saw what is happening in America. But before he made his last statement, where he was crying out, say, I am sorry, I have made a mistake. I am integrating my people into a burning house. They quickly took him out because they knew that was the real message. The same way Simon Ekpa will not believe in this your reconstructuring or whatever you're calling it, restructuring and all this rubbish. We don't believe in Nigeria anymore. We cannot integrate Biafrans into Nigeria. We cannot integrate Biafrans into a burning house. That was the last gospel of Martin Luther King before the CIA and the FBI said, no. This gospel must not go out. If it goes out, it means the blacks, they will now know their real strength in America. You see, they knew that. It was a good thing when the blacks were by themselves and the white were by themselves. During that time, they had what they call the Negro League, basketball league, baseball league for the blacks alone. Today, when you look at it now, NBA, 80% of them are who? Blacks. But who makes all the money? The white, organizations. Even their music in America, blacks. But who controls and distributes the music? The white corporate organizations. All the talents of the blacks in America are being controlled by the white organizations. I won't go there because today I am speaking about Biafra. I am speaking about my people. So Simon Ekpa has learned from the mistakes. We have learned from the mistakes, and we are saying never again. We'll do it our way. I rest my case. From me, from here, for now, I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I remain yours truly, Biafra, Superstars Media. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, check me out. Superstars Media. Lord Lugard, Bloomington, Lord Lugard, and it's Wild Flora Show. 1914 amalgamation is what we dying for. 3 nations to 1 nation, ever since annihilation. Nepotism is nonsense. You and you, clap your hands. Biafra gonna come, clap your hands. Biafra, Oduduwa, we're free now. Freedom is gonna come, we're free now.